Okay, welcome back from the break. You should have taken a break. If you didn't, you can take a break. You pause the video and take a break anytime you want. All right, let's continue. All right, now we are talking about the word disaster. Disaster. How would you split that up? Well, di and then za and then ter. That's how I would do it. Okay, it's much easier. You could do disaster. That's fine too, but I think it's easier this way. In the end, you end up with the same thing, so it doesn't matter. Okay, disaster. We talked about disasters, earthquakes, typhoons. Okay, many years ago there was the Xiaolingchun thing. That was a disaster. Or in your textbooks, you talks about uh, Jori, the 921 earthquake. That was a disaster. Okay, both are natural disasters. Now, if you can talk about man disasters caused by humans, those would be man-made disasters such as 9/11, and um, you can argue wars, right? All the world wars, WW1, WW2, World War One, World War Two. They were man-made disasters. Okay. All right. So disaster, um, or Titanic, 铁达尼号, right? We all know that. That is also a very famous disaster. Why was it a disaster? Because like 1,400 people maybe died in that disaster. Okay. All right. Um, let's say we'll talk about disaster. How about we say that the Titanic was man-made. Man-made means made by people, right? The Titanic was a man-made disaster. The Titanic was a man-made disaster, period. Why did I say was? Why did I say was? Why didn't I say, you know, is? Right? What am I doing here? Why was? Well, the Titanic, that was a long time ago. It was like more than 100 years ago now. Okay, so uh, past tense. The Titanic was a man-made disaster. Okay, it was a man-made disaster because people that were supposed to be looking after the ship, uh, they didn't do their job, and then uh, the disaster happened. Disaster. Okay, continue. Based on. When something is based on another thing, that means it is copying from that, okay, to some extent, right, to some degree. So if I write a book about, if I write a book about Tsai Ing-wen, right, our president, okay, if I write a book about Tsai Ing-wen, the book is not Tsai Ing-wen, right? Yes, but the book is based on her life, is based on her, okay, right? So many movies are based on somebody or some story. Okay. Just now, Cindy and my wife, Cindy, and my children, they were watching a TV show called I forget the English name. The Tears of the Inferno. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's called. It's about like firefighters and they uh, uh, their their life together, and the job that they have is very difficult. I think in the end, a couple of firefighters die. Right? There was also a love story between a firefighter and a woman firefighter. Right? Okay. So that TV show is about firefighters. Is none of it is true, but is based on firefighters, right? It's based on the life of some firefighter somewhere. Okay, it's based on. Okay, good. So let's look at the word base on. To be based on. Okay, actually there should be a be here. To be based on. Okay, because usually based on is used in the passive, 被动, right? To be based on. Something is based on something else. Okay. Uh, so let's say, excuse me, let's time out for a second. I need to. Okay. So I just thought of a good sentence. You know, the cartoon, the Japanese cartoon you guys like to watch, Conan, right? Well, that cartoon is based on a uh, a novel, a series of many novels written by this guy named uh, Conan, right? Arthur Conan Doyle, I think. I'm going to look it up right now, okay? And he wrote a book called Sherlock Holmes. And Sherlock Holmes was a famous detective, uh, 侦探, right? A detective, okay? And the reason why the Japanese cartoon is called Conan is because the author, the 作家 of the famous Sherlock Holmes novels, his name was Arthur Conan Doyle, I think. Doyle, I think. Yes. So here it is. So this is you know, I know he looks nothing like the Japanese cartoon, but he was the author who wrote the famous Sherlock Holmes novels, right? Okay. Sherlock Holmes is a famous sleuth. He solved mysteries, very smart, much like Conan, right? The little boy in, I know he's not a little boy, but you know, he looks like a little boy in the Japanese cartoons, okay? So the Japanese cartoon Conan is based on uh, Sherlock Holmes, okay, based on the the novel, the story of Sherlock Holmes, okay. So I'm gonna write that. All right. The Japanese cartoon is based on Sherlock Holmes. Period. Okay, now I don't know what the Japanese cartoon's name is, and my Google doesn't support Chinese. So, you know, the Japanese cartoon Conan. Oh, I don't know. Okay. All right, so here it is. The Japanese cartoon Conan is based on Sherlock Holmes. Okay. To be based on, to is based on Sherlock Holmes. What am I doing? Okay, fine. Okay. Calendar. Okay. Um, Calendar, we usually use the Roman calendar. Like I said, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. If we ever get back to class, we will. I will tell you a story about the calendar, um, specifically about the months of July and August. The calendar, okay? But some of us, we go by the farmer's calendar, which is different. 农历, right? Right? 农, like 农夫, right? So the farmer's calendar. I know my wife's mother, my mother-in-law, she only celebrates her birthday on the farmer's calendar, not the Roman calendar. Okay, so in Taiwan we use two calendars basically, the Roman calendar and then the farmer's calendar. Okay, um, we also use a mix, right? We use the Roman calendar for the month and day. So for example, today is May 30th, right? But we use sometimes 民国, right? Yes, and that would be not a Roman calendar, or the Christian calendar, I should say, but the Taiwanese calendar, right? So we use the Roman calendar for the day and month, and the Taiwanese calendar for the year. So May 30th, 100, what is it now? 110, the year 110, 民国110, right? Yes, okay. So it's a mix, right? So that's also a way, a calendar that we use. Calendar, okay. But I think most people use the Roman calendar, right? Okay. All right, so let's make that our sentence. Most people in the world use the Roman calendar. Period. Okay, good. No. Okay. Most people in the world use the Roman calendar. Wonderful calendar. Not a lot to say there. Okay, secret. Secret. How would you, sorry, let's go back to calendar. I forgot to cut up the word. Calendar, and then dar. Calendar. What's happening here? Let's see this there. Okay. Secret. 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 Right. A secret is something that you know and only you know. Other people don't know. That would be a secret. Okay? A secret. And if you told me your secret, then it would be our secret. You know, and then I know. Okay? It would be our secret. Okay? And if you told Peter, it would be our secret, the three of us, the secret that the three of us share, our secret, right? And if Peter told his friend and his friend told her friend, and then it will no longer be a secret. Then everybody would know, and it would not be a secret. So don't tell anybody any secrets. Okay, but we all have secrets. Okay, so a good example of a secret is a 密码, right? A password. You don't tell people your password. That's a secret. You don't want anybody to know, right? Okay, so secret, right? So maybe you have a secret, but the secret involves a problem. you have some problem that you want to solve. You don't want a lot of people to know. What do? You have to tell somebody that you trust. Okay? Who is that? Probably not your friend. You should tell your mother or your father. Okay? Those are the people who you should trust. Okay? So maybe if you have any secrets, you should tell your mother and father. So maybe, or you know, if it's nothing, if it's not a problem, then you don't have to tell anybody. Okay, good. Secret. Right. By the way, when you don't tell somebody your secret, that's called keeping a secret. You keep a secret. Okay. So I got an idea. Let's say I want to tell you my secret, but I want to make sure, right? I want to know, do you have a big mouth? Will you tell this secret to a lot of people? So I might ask you this question. Can you keep a secret? Question mark. What's that mean? To keep a secret is to know a secret and not tell anyone. Can you keep a secret? Yes, I can. I can keep a secret. Okay. Usually people say they can. Secret. All right. Of course. Okay, of course. You can't cut up of course because course is only one sound. Of course. Of course just means definitely. Very much a yes. Yes, yes. Okay? So if somebody says to you, oh, may I borrow your pencil? Of course you can, right? 100% you can, all right? Of course, all right? Of course has other, sort of another usage, but that's very rare. We don't have to talk about that. So of course. So let's say, you know, Mary, you know, has played basketball for 10 years, right? Of course, she is good at basketball, right? Or something like this. This is not absolutely true, but let's say, you know, Gordon's mother is tall. Gordon's father is tall. Then, of course, Gordon is tall, right? Yes. Not really, but it's just a sample sentence, right? Okay, so let's make a sentence. What sentence can we make? Okay, I like the tall sentence, okay? About, all right. Gordon's mother and father are tall, period. Of course, Gordon is tall, period. So notice I used two sentences to say what I wanted to say. First, I say the condition, I shouldn't say the condition, the premise, the reason, okay? And then I say, begin the second sentence with the words, of course. By the way, of course is two words, not one. Of course, Gordon is tall, right? Yes. Or something like, you know, Peter lived in America for 10 years. Of course, his English is good, right? Of course. And last but not least, we have the word none of. None of. Zero of. Not even one. zip, nada, right? None of. So none of is the opposite of all of, right? I can say that all of the children in school are start again. All of the children in school like candy. Okay, like to eat candy. All of the children in school like candy. None of the children in school like homework. Right? None of. So you have to say none of a group of people or a group of things. All right? Or you can say all of the elephants in the zoo are big and fat. Right? But none of the mice in the zoo are big and fat, right? Yes, they're all small, right? All right. So let's say you, what's a good example? Oh, let's say you have your 营养午餐, right? You have lunch at home, excuse me, in school. Do you remember that? That was long ago. And you have lunch at school. And the school lunch, there were two kinds of dishes, right? There was the vegetable, which no one liked. And there was um, uh, the fried rice, right? 炒饭, right? The fried rice, which all the children love. Okay. So after lunch, the teacher realized that no one, not even one child, ate the vegetables. So here's my sentence. None of the students in class ate the vegetables, period. So none of the students in class, okay? You have to say none of what group? What group? The students in class, okay? So none of the students in class ate the vegetables. How many people ate the vegetables? Zero, zip, none, okay? None of the students ate the vegetables. Okay, I think that's about it. We went through the story and the vocabulary words. This should be enough for you to do your video home, your writing homework, all right? Which I will send you through line, it's easier. Now, just a little bit of a reminder, when we have class tomorrow, please be on time and pay attention. Please be sure to watch this video before class so you can read the story, and you are able to work with the vocabulary words and answer some of the questions I'm going to ask you. Okay, all right. Have fun watching the video, and I'll see you guys in class tomorrow.